Gabriel rose with the dawn, treading towards the 9th floor of the trial tower to face the giant again, alone this time. The crucible of fate loomed on the horizon, an impending trial that urged Gabriel to refine his skills. He figured putting himself against the perpetually resurrected giant would be his best bet. If he could slay this giant, he could take on Rafe Riker without concern. In his reflection, in the days after his defeat of the giant alongside Cade, he realized he had a crucial flaw: his endurance, especially with Skypiercer. As Gabriel traversed the eerily quiet campus, with other students still deeply immersed in slumber, unaware of Gabriel's self-imposed secret training, a shadow discreetly trailed his every step. This silent observer was none other than Cade, keenly watching from the periphery. Although his initial training session proved challenging, a noticeable transformation gripped Gabriel. His overall strength had taken a qualitative leap, particularly in his mastery of the sword spirit technique. The flying sword's speed had doubled, a testament to his arduous efforts, surely the result of his reward for already defeating the 9th level. Every day, Gabriel ascended to the 9th floor, confronting the relentless oaf. He found solace in the prospect of overcoming his limitations. Each day brought refinement. Gabriel unraveled the giant's routines, pinpointing its flaws. Gabriel utilized his strengths to exploit the giant's vulnerabilities. The arena became a dance of evasion. However, his attempts to slow the giant's movements and erect protective force fields proved futile, resulting in Gabriel questioning the worth of his sun-blessed abilities. A strategic revelation dawned. He could no longer afford to rely solely on defensive maneuvers. The giant's brute force surpassed Gabriel's abilities. He needed to change the narrative. In the arena, Gabriel nimbly evaded the giant's battle axe, focusing on counterattacks during moments of vulnerability. Strikes to the throat became a strategic necessity. Gabriel mastered the art of coordinating Skypiercer's aerial assaults with Zephyr's Edge's wind strikes, overwhelming the giant's defenses. However, neither sword was causing fatal damage. Death by 1,000 cuts seemed more plausible than a decisive blow. His attacks, however, were measured. Gabriel dared not be greedy, understanding the risk of a single mistake against the behemoth. Cade watched nervously from the shadows, second-guessing his own motives. Days passed in this relentless gauntlet. Each swing of the battle axe met with Gabriel's calculated strikes. The giant's defense proved formidable, a seemingly immovable object. Yet, Gabriel persisted. However, the giant offered slim margins for error. Gabriel capitalized on each opportunity, delivering calculated strikes to the throat. Amid the tense exchanges, Gabriel grappled with fear. The relentless repetition, the daily confrontation with a formidable foe, instilled a resolve to overcome the fear of failure, the fear of defeat, and most importantly, the fear of death. With less than a week before the crucible of fate, Gabriel stood poised before the giant. Skypiercer hovered over Gabriel's head, while he held the tornado-like hilt of Zephyr's Edge in his hand. Blood pumping, veins bulging, he faced the approaching giant head-on. "I'm not afraid of you." His deep breath sent Skypiercer swirling around the giant's throat, while an accidental spark from his fist charged Zephyr's Edge with a torrent of blue energy. A clash ensued. Upon the battle axe's contact with Zephyr's Edge, blue lightning burst forth, shocking the giant as Skypiercer finished the job, slicing its jugular, causing the giant to fall, vanquished. Exhausted yet triumphant, Gabriel extracted Skypiercer from the giant's throat, his sweat-soaked body overcome with fatigue. Days and days of intense training had paid off, significantly enhancing his combat prowess. As Gabriel rested on the ground, contemplating the newfound understanding that combat ability trumped the degree of sun-blessed abilities, he caught a glimpse of someone from the shadows. "Cade, what are you doing here?" "I want to come and challenge the giant myself. Ever since I absorbed new abilities from my Immortal Grade manual, I've had this overwhelming urge to continue training." "You startled me." "You impressed me. I take it you've absorbed the benefits of the Immortal Grade manual." "I think it was worth the excruciating headache." "You got them too? I thought I was the only one." They shared a laugh, before Gabriel excused himself, leaving Cade to his training. Cade's gaze lingered on Gabriel stepping through the teleportation portal. What weaknesses could he report to Rafe? He then set his sights on the reanimated giant, his gear materializing in hand. He couldn't live with himself until he slayed the giant on his own. Dark clouds swirled over the mountaintop, casting ominous shadows across the landscape. The air was thick with a sense of impending doom, and the distant echoes of thunder rumbled through the atmosphere, foretelling a storm on the horizon. Rafe, in his cross-legged posture, seemed to absorb the unsettling energy of the environment. His presence was formidable, amplified by the eerie atmosphere. The wind howled through the crags, carrying with it a biting chill that seemed to penetrate the very bones of anyone daring to ascend the mountain. He was 3 days out from the crucible of fate. Cade approached cautiously, the gravel crunching beneath his boots. The clouds above seemed to converge, forming a dark canopy that threatened to swallow the entire peak. As he reached Rafe, a gust of wind tussled his hair, and he felt a cold shiver run down his spine. "Have you stumbled across any weaknesses of our mutual foe?" Rafe inquired, his voice somewhat muted by the ominous ambiance. Cade, with an expressionless face, responded with an air of insecurity. "He's killed the giant, by himself this time." The gravity of Cade's words hung in the air, and Rafe couldn't escape the feeling that he was being played. The mountain, normally a place of solitude and reflection, now seemed like a stage for an impending confrontation. "What do you mean, he killed the giant alone?" Rafe's voice sliced through the heavy silence. "Exactly what I said. Look, I don't know if I can keep spying on him." His uncertainty was revealing itself. "Finding and exploiting his weaknesses will benefit us both. Don't you want to be Supreme Student?" Rafe's words were laced with an undercurrent of disdain. "I'm not sure I could take him in a fight for Supreme Student. I'm not sure if I even want that." There was a flicker of doubt in his eyes. "A lack of ambition on your part won't get in my way. Lucky for you, you won't have to do anything. I will kill him in 3 days." "I guess it's good to be confident, Rafe. Better than being pathetic like yourself." Rafe's anger was no longer simmering beneath the surface. "I should go." As Cade retreated down the mountain, a sense of foreboding lingered in the air. Good riddance. Rafe, left alone on the desolate peak, summoned a messenger raven. He needed to get a hold of Master Aldrich immediately. He was beginning to get desperate. For the first time in his life, he questioned his destiny. On the eve of the Crucible of Fate, Gabriel ascended the stone steps leading to the training tower. As he approached, the main door swung open with a loud creak, revealing a battered yet exhilarated Cade standing on the other side. "Gabriel, you're looking at the giant's most recent victor. I finally untangled my inner ambition and wielded my spear in ways that even surprised me. I never believed in myself, but I do now." "Cade, congratulations." They found a moment's respite on a boulder outside the tower, the moon casting its ethereal glow upon them. "Gabriel, ever since my first day at this academy, fear was my constant companion. When I first faced the giant, all I felt was fear. Deep down, I believed he was invincible, and in a way, he was. At least, back then. But thanks to you, I've broken free from that fear. I'm sick of being afraid of bullies, be they giants or men. When I faced him alone, I was afraid too. I wouldn't have had the courage to fight him if it weren't for you, Cade, and our time together on the 9th floor. Gabriel, you do this school proud as the Supreme Student. I don't know anyone better for the position." Gabriel looked at Cade. "As far as I know, you're the true candidate. You killed a giant with a single spear. Even I had to wield 2 separate swords. You should be the Supreme Student." "I'm not interested." Gabriel was puzzled. Why? Cade looked to the sky and smiled. "My heart isn't in it. When I came to the Southern Academy, it was what my family expected. But I've always dreamed of leaving the lower realm, exploring the thousands of worlds beyond the Southern Academy. Being a Supreme Student anchors me here, in the lower realm." Cade, now that I think of it, the world is big and in desperate need of a skilled spear wielder. If you are the Supreme Student, Gabriel shook his head. I'm not interested either. Cade was stunned. I've always dreamed of entering the Solarian Academy. In front of him. What were you two just talking about? Rafe clasped his fists, burning with sun-blessed flames. Rafe! Cade blinked. You should be saving your energy for the Crucible of Fate. Cade raised his leg for a swift kick, the speed astonishing. Before Rafe could react, he was kicked in the abdomen, sending him flying against a boulder. Cade stood over his bully. As a person, I don't hate others playing tricks, nor do I hate others for being smart, but I hate people taking me for a pathetic fool. If by some miracle you survive tomorrow, consider yourself on borrowed time. Rage fueled through the embarrassed Rafe in a way that should worry Cade, Gabriel, or anyone who got in his way.